Song number 5 on the album is Wild Hearts. This is a Dylan song.
This one was written immediately after getting into a big blow-up argument with a girlfriend of mine at the time, and on a full moon. And it's kind of just about that, about the momentum of an argument or a negative state, how it just kind of takes over and you're not in any control of yourself at that moment, and maybe having something to do with the cycles of the moon. And then on the record, I remember I recorded most of it just with Mick. I think I recorded guitar and vocals. Mick was in the control room and I was downstairs, and all the lights were off. And I think we got it that night, all in like 1 or 2 takes, both the vocals and the guitar.
Is that guitar that Country Gentleman?
Yeah, it's the Gretsch. Perfect guitar for that.
Guitar.
And what else? Oh yeah, and then when Danny came and we were working on it, it needed something. I didn't want to add really anything to it because it had captured a nice vibe. But then Danny started messing around on your OB6, right? Was it?
Yeah.
And got that kind of waffling synth that comes in, and it doesn't change key. It just stays in one drony key or sound for basically the whole song.
Against the chords that are changing.
Against the chords that are changing. And it added this kind of eeriness, and it almost added space. Even though it's filling up a ton of the space on the record, it added more space.
I like the tremolo of that thing added a shimmer to it, you know?
Well, the synth thing?
Yeah, that the guitar also...
I think it was just a LFO with a bunch of noise in the cutting, changing the filters. So just kind of like a shuffly thing.
This is where you also did your
wind,
chains.
You can get wind sounds nicely with noise.
Yeah.
Your chains trick on the drums.
Oh yeah, but what I want to say was that sort of tremolo sound, and the guitar was just slightly out of tune, so there was some wavering there. I don't know if you were using the tremolo bar when you played it, or
it's a really hard. Some of the chords are really hard to get in tune with the other chords in the song. So I kind of was bending some of the notes.
We used the ARP, right, for the theremin.
Yeah, we used the ARP for the theremin melody.
I just finish my sentence about the shimmering. The tremolo, the tremolo inherently is nostalgic, I think. I don't know if it's inherently, but it's certainly associated with nostalgia, and when you hear something that's slightly out of tune, it reminds you of an old record or tape that would wobble, give you that sort of whoa, 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 whoa sound. And that's what made it sound almost old-fashioned. And when it has that effect, I think it makes the message timeless in some way, where it kind of pulls it out of the space of a modern recording, and it puts it in a time where it almost doesn't matter, or you don't know when it was recorded. And
the chorus has, and the harmonies on the chorus and the melody of it is kind of Everly Brothers-esque.
Yeah,
I think it has that, and then the other fun thing that we did was added a bunch of sound effects. Wanted to sound kind of like a campfire song, but with a little bit of chaos going on as it went to the third chorus, and kind of really lyrically started to describe the chaos of wild or crazy hearts, and just used all these different sounds of like people laughing or screaming in bars, and there's owl and fire sounds and all sorts of things in it that just added to this element of chaos.
Well, again, this is another one of those songs that just fit perfectly for episode 8 of Bus Call. It's whoever did the music supervising on that show is a fucking genius.
I did. Oh, the drums. I did use the 2 in the morning trick on 2 in the morning from Egomaniac. Set up the kit to have all these chains and stuff in my hand, and I used mallets with all the snare turned off and recorded it, with distant ribbon mics, and so you can barely even hear the drums, but it's just like it's almost like Henry Mancini, that spacious Tommy timpani sound, and the chains just falling on the drums gives it an atmosphere.
That Henry Mancini song that you're referencing is called Lujan, right? Or Lujan. That's from that's someone. The Coen brothers are geniuses of music supervision because they use that in The Big Lebowski, right, for the scene with Jackie Treehorn, the pornographer man.
Yeah.
And it is just such a dreamy space song, that one, Henry Mancini Lujan.